It is March 17th, and it's St. Patrick's Day. And Constance observed yesterday that St. Patrick's Day, a day of great drinking and excess and green beer and things like that, is happening right in the middle of Lent. Isn't that right, dear?
Yes, I thought that. I don't know why I never noticed it before, because I don't drink.
We
It's
don't.
always Lent here. No, it isn't.
365
It's
days
not.
a year
We have
of
plenty
Lent.
treats, thank you. We just don't drink anymore.
That's right.
Because there's a time when you're too young to drink, most of the time, and then there's a time when you're too old to drink most of the time, but there's a corridor between the two when you can drink.
Such is our St. Patrick's Day wisdom.
Exceed by delicacy,
Right.
refine your rapture.
Yes, that should be on every whiskey bottle. Sure, a little bit of heaven fell from the sky one day.
I'm leaving now.
Early on a Sunday morning, high upon a gallows tree, Kevin Barry gave his young life for the cause of liberty. Just a lad of 18 summers, yet there's no one can deny that he went to death that morning, proudly held his head up high. Shoot me like an Irish soldier, do not hang me like a dog, for I fought for Ireland's freedom on that dark September morn, all around that little bakery where we fought from hand to hand. Shoot me like an Irish soldier, for I fought to free Ireland. I'm only going to give you one verse. Maybe I shouldn't have even given you that. Today is what I consider the second holy day of the high holy days of Thelema, March 17th. Now, I read to you about the feast rituals, the elements, and the feasts of the times yesterday. The Book of the Law, chapter 2. But ye, my people, rise up and awake. Let the rituals be rightly performed with joy and beauty. There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times. A feast for the first night of the prophet and his bride. A feast for the 3 days of the writing of the Book of the Law. A feast for Tahuti and the child of the prophet. Secret, O prophet. Now I'm stressing that line here today. A feast for Tahuti and the child of the prophet. Secret, O prophet. A feast for the spring ritual and a feast for the equinox of the gods. A feast for fire and a feast for water, a feast for life, and a greater feast for death. We discussed those yesterday. A feast every day in your hearts in the joy of my rapture. A feast every night unto new and the pleasure of uttermost delight. I feast, rejoice, there is no dread hereafter. There is the disillusion and the eternal ecstasy in the kisses of new. Okay. I'm going to talk about that feast of Tahuti and the child of the prophet. Secret, O prophet. Now, in the equinox of the gods, it sort of tells the whole story, the backstory of the writing of the Book of the Law. or at least one backstory. Now, back in, let's see, I believe it was October, we'll know here in a minute, of 1903, Crowley and Rose honeymooned in Cairo and spent a night, a romantic night, by all accounts, in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. It was there that they conceived a baby, in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. Now, Crowley doesn't stress that or anything else. All you have to do is do a little addition, and it's clearly laid out. That was the circumstances. So here it just says March 16th began invocation, okay, of ERO. And that was what we talked about yesterday, the air section of Liber Samach, or the bornless ritual. If you didn't tune in yesterday, go to YouTube or scroll down and you'll find that. Okay, but today, March 17th, it says Thoth appeared. And the footnote says Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom and magic. Now, he writes Thoth, and I believe, see where it says March 17th, right there. And look how he spells Thoth like that. Thoth appeared. Okay. A feast for Tahuti. That's Thoth. But the next line is, and the child of the prophet. Secret, O prophet. The child. Okay? Now, in the Book of Results here, Crowley writes, on March 16th, yesterday, I invoke ERO. Frater P tells us that this was done by the ritual of the bornless one, like we talked yesterday, identical with the preliminary invocation of the Goetia, merely to amuse his wife by showing her the sylphs. She refused or was unable to see any sylphs, but became inspired and kept on saying, "They are waiting for you." And he says, note, the maiden name of his wife was Rose, Edith Kelly. He called her Urada, the Arabic for rose. She is hereafter signified by Urada, the seer, or W for short. W says, they, quote, they are, quote, waiting for me. And then on the 17th, she said that on the 16th. And on the 17th, it is, quote, all about the child. Also, quote, all Osiris. And in parentheses, Crowley notes, note the cynic and skeptic tone of this entry. How different it appears in the light of Liber 418. That's the vision in the voice years later. Thoth invoked with great success indwells us. Then parenthetically, he comments on his own diary here. Yes, but what happened? Frater P, that's Crowley's name is more or less Crowley the youngster, has no sort of idea. Now, tomorrow I'm going to read what it says on the 18th, but I would like to share with you something that my friend and neighbor, actually, David Allen Hulse, has written in a marvelous book, which is published by, let's see, make sure. Well, it's printed by the Hellfire Club, which does beautiful, like limited editions stuff. Here, I'll read it. It's called Genesis of the Book of the Law. The complete text, copyright 2017 by David Allen Hulse and the Hellfire Club Book Publishing. Okay, and so I'm sure you can look it up and find it, but it's this particular one is just absolutely beautiful thing. I'm going to read you what David's observations was concerning yesterday and today, March 16th. It was a Wednesday then. Crowley and Rose take an apartment in Cairo, down the street from the Bullock Museum. They rent a flat, and Crowley turns the room facing north into a makeshift temple. Out of boredom and for his wife's amusement, Crowley invokes the sylphs, the traditional elemental beings that rule the elemental force of air. Crowley uses the preliminary invocation from his own translation of the Goetia that he reworked from Mather's own version. I guess he had that in his knapsack, okay? Rose would not or could not see the sylphs, but instead fell into a light trance and repeatedly muttered, "They're waiting for you." This irritated Crowley instead of intriguing him. Rose is now 5 months pregnant. Okay. Rose is now 5 months pregnant with her child. The child is Crowley's magical daughter, who will be born on July 28th, while Rose and Crowley and Rose are in Boleskine, Scotland. Crowley will name her with all the powers of the dark side of the lunar high priestess. She shall be known to the world in her short life of 2 years as Nuit, Ma, Athanur, Hathor, Hecate, Sappho, Jezebel, Lilith, Crowley McGregor. I think somewhere in Crowley's notes in his confessions it says possibly she died of acute nomenclature. She can only live a short life, for she is not meant for this world. Okay, this is David's observation. Her true purpose in life is right at this moment while she's still in her mother's womb. For the Egyptian gods and goddesses who will visit Crowley for the next 25 days are being materialized in the matrix of Urada's womb. Now that's a very interesting piece of speculation there. Though Rose's voice is forming the words, it is Lilith who is the magical conduit for the messages that will ultimately dictate the Book of the Law to Aleister Crowley. That's a provocative idea. March 17th. Crowley attempts, that's today's holy day. Remember the Feast of Tahuti and the child of the prophet, secret, O prophet. Okay. On March 17th, Crowley attempts a second time to invoke the winged sylphs of the air to visually appear before Rose. But Rose, inspired in her Egyptian trance, informs Crowley, quote, "It is all about the child," and, quote, "all Osiris." Crowley will later interpret this remark of the child as reference to the child god Horus and the magical child predicted in the Book of the Law. But one must realize that at this point, Rose is at this point 5 months pregnant, and that her statement, quote, "it is all about the child," may refer instead to the child already in her womb, Lilith. This irritates Crowley again. So Crowley, using the ritual found in his Liber Israfel, that's invocation of Thoth, invokes the lunar Egyptian god of wisdom, Thoth, who in the magical system of the Golden Dawn is a personification of Mercury, and the tarot key, the Magus. Crowley had first conjured Thoth. Please get this. Crowley had first conjured Thoth while in the Great Pyramid with Rose last October. Now Crowley's magical record states Thoth invoked with great success indwells us. This is very interesting, for Crowley is consciously working the magic of the element air, attributed to thought, intellect, and the conscious mind, and Mercury, attributed to secret wisdom in the form of number, letter, color, and symbol. Rose, meanwhile, is unconsciously pulling down both the magical forces of Mars, Horus, and the sun on the other, and opens a portal for the Book of the Law to manifest starting 22 days from this date on April 8th. By the language of the tarot, this magical operation to bring into being the Book of the Law uses the forces of the Fool, the sylphs. The Fool is Aleph, attributed to air. The Magus, Thoth, the Tower or War as Horus, and the Sun card, as Osiris. Those are very, very interesting, provocative ideas, and it's really something for us to chew on. I will pick up tomorrow on March 18th, because it starts to get pretty damn good. Okay, that's our little talk for the Feast of Tahuti and the Child of the Prophet. Secret, O Prophet, something for us all to think about. But until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.